Hi everyone, and welcome to Webinar Wednesday. I'm Samantha Morgan, founder of QuickFlip Media. This session is called The Storage Fix, and we're tackling a pain point nearly every small business owner and content creator faces: running out of space on your phone. This is a problem so many of us face, and unfortunately the solution seems to be adding more and more storage fees to your monthly subscription list. But I'm here to tell you that there are other solutions. And my guest today is going to do that as well. His name is Robert Chandler, and he's the former operations manager at WAFB. And he's the person who helped me build out some of the most efficient digital systems I've ever used. He's got some hot takes on what you should and shouldn't keep, and we'll hear from him in a little bit. But first, before we get into any of this, I want to tell you about my upcoming workshop. And it's specifically designed for business owners who find themselves creative directors. If you don't have the budget to hire a professional video producer or social media manager, but you're struggling to create any social media or website content that actually gets your business attention, then you need to come take my workshop. Over 3 days, you're going to learn how to create video content, which is the #1 piece of content being consumed right now. Canva was the solution for not being able to hire a graphic designer, and I'm the solution for not being able to hire a videographer. Rather than making you wait until the end of this video or look in your inbox for an email, I'm going to go ahead and give you a discount code for watching this webinar. You're welcome. You can use the code StorageFix. That's StorageFix, all one word, to get a 15% discount when you sign up for the workshop. I know you're wondering, so here's the catch. Only 5 people are allowed in each workshop, and there are already some people registered, so do not wait. If you come to the next one, you need to sign up today, like right now. So I'm going to drop the link in the chat right now. For those of you who are watching the replay, it's down in the comments section. Okay, let's get down to business. First up, you are not alone. And let's start with some fun facts because I love data. All right, the average person now adds around 8 gigabytes of new content to their phone every single month. I probably have like 5 times that. But that means if you're the average person, you've got about 256 gigabyte phone and you're not regularly cleaning things out. If you do this, you could fill your entire device in just over 6 months. Sound familiar? All right, here's the kicker. In 2024, only about 44% of iPhone users actually upgraded to a phone with higher storage. And yet, the type of files we're all working with are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. 4K video, editing apps, cloud syncs, they're all eating up space faster than ever. And who wants to pay another subscription fee? Not me. Here's the thing about apps. They're taking up more and more space. The graphic you're seeing shows the changes in file sizes over the years. So if you're ever going to record a video and seeing that dreaded storage full message pop up, just remember, you're not alone. This is a real widespread problem. And today we're going to talk about the fix. How do you fix it? Well, first off, let's get to the root of the problem. Here's the truth. Your phone is probably your main production tool, but you're treating it like an archive. You're not moving content off regularly, maybe because you're afraid to lose something or you just don't know what to delete. Maybe you've got a touch of the, I might need that syndrome. It's worse in the virtual world than the physical one because you don't have to physically look at all the junk you're holding on to in the digital world. But if you don't have a backup system in place, it's understandable why it feels risky to clean all those things up because you really might need that video or photo. But if your digital system is too cluttered to find anything, then what's the point in keeping it in the first place? That's something I'm going to challenge you to think about today. So first off, first thing you need to do is start with a clean out. Let's go ahead and fix the problem before it's a problem. You don't need a full system before you start cleaning. So here are a few things you can do right now to start cleaning out your phone and freeing up more space. Start with the simple places. Delete the duplicates. All you have to do is scroll down on your photos to the very bottom section where it says duplicates. It's all the way at the end, so you probably missed it. Get rid of those by merging them together. Now you've got a little bit more space. Next, you want to clear out your downloads, you want to remove apps you never use, and you want to delete large attachments. Okay, the apps is the huge thing. This is what's getting most of us. As I said before, they are taking up more and more space. And if you're using a video editing app on your phone, like me, that's what's really hogging up all your resources. If I wanted to quickly clear out a lot of space, I would go directly to CapCut and delete out all my old project files because I hang on to those way too long. You probably too. Did you even know you could delete them? Did you even know they were taking up space? Move videos off the next part, even temporarily. Move it to an external drive or a cloud. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. All right, but look, before you get any of these files onto your phone, it's important to know and understand file types and sizes because not all content is created equal when it comes to file size. It's incredible that our phones can shoot in 4K, and if you're shooting video that's going to be on a TV, then it's awesome. But for most of us, shooting in 4K is an absolute waste of space. That's because when you upload 4K footage to your social platforms, it literally gets compressed to 1080p. So there is absolutely no reason to film in 4K. Straight up. Next, this is going to be slow motion and live photos. If you're like me, you probably didn't even realize you had live photos on. Well, figure out how to turn it off because it's eating up space. While you're at it, make sure that you're not using the burst mode for photos. When you delete duplicates, you're probably going to get rid of a bunch of burst mode photos. It's easy to do. Don't worry about it. Next up, we're going to create a file transfer routine because routines are the best way to do anything. There's some apps out there that offer to clean up your phone for you, but I find the best way to keep a space clean is to create a routine. A weekly or bi-weekly transfer day can solve so many problems. And if you just add it to your calendar and make a plan, it keeps it manageable and easy to do. Just do a little bit at a time. Small batches are always best because it makes for a smoother transfer. If you try to grab everything all at once, chances are it's just going to spin for hours getting all the way to the end when it tells you like, oh, there was a critical error and you have to start all over again. So don't even bother with that. Just do a little bit at a time. Use something like AirDrop, a USB cable, or Google Photos, something like that to help you transfer your files. Label your folders by date and project so nothing gets lost in the shuffle. Wait, let's talk more about that in a bit. Okay, first, let's talk about where you're sending those files, your storage system. When it comes to where you're going to be transferring this data, you've got three main choices. First off, you can go with an external hard drive. It's a great option because it's a one-time fee. You buy it, you own it, that's it. But they can fail, and you periodically need to go through them and duplicate your data onto a new drive. And this is a good thing to do annually. Make it part of your, end of the year routine. Cloud storage, this is great, but it can get pricey. Those monthly subscriptions add up. And as you continue to increase data storage, you're going to increase payments. So the best solution is actually the third solution, and that's a little bit of a hybrid, where you take a little bit of the best of both worlds. You have a cloud-based system that you use, but you also have a hard drive backup. Maybe you put the more used files on your cloud-based system, and then you keep your less used long-term storage onto a drive. Now, you definitely want to just go ahead and get rid of every picture you've ever taken while you were out at dinner. Just seriously, get rid of it. That's for social media. Leave it there, drop it, and go on. You don't need to keep it. All right, when you're creating and moving all this content, you need a system for your folders, a strong storage system, or you're never going to be able to find everything. I'm a file-loving freak. I have folders inside of folders inside of folders, but let's keep it simple. Use a folder and basically call it Content 2024. All right, break it down into subfolders like Reels, interviews, B-roll, final edits. To edit, you can add other stuff in there like website, other things, right? Ultimately, the folders though mean nothing if you don't name the files within them something that's easy and searchable. So you always want to include the date. You need to know when the footage was gathered. The best way to include the date is to do the year first, then the month, then the day. This allows you to properly sort. Then you're going to include an underscore rather than a dash. The underscore is to show a space. The next item is going to be the title of the item. Don't include spaces here though. Just put it all right next to each other and capitalize the first letter of each word. Then you're going to add another underscore, and this is where I like to note the version number and whether or not the footage is vertical or horizontal. So I like to do V1H. So that stands for version 1 horizontal, right? You can do V1V, version 1 vertical. It lets you quickly see what's vertical and what's horizontal. Okay, so at the end of the day, it all comes down to deciding what to keep. That is ultimately what you need to be focusing on. This is something I talked with my good buddy Robert Chandler about, and as I mentioned earlier, he was the operations manager at WAFB when I was the digital director. So take a little listen to our chat. We talk about news and a couple of other things too, and give you a little bit about what you need to know to make your system work for you. So QuickFlip Media was born from the news industry because that's where I started out. That's where I spent most of my time. And the man sitting right next to me, Mr. Chandler Bong, if you watch Friends, you know who that is. But actually, no, not
that's
your real
not what
name.
the federal warrants say, but yeah.
That's not the official name. The real name is Robert Chandler. And he is the man who controlled everything at B, which is the last station that I was at, and actually controlled everything in Baton Rouge news media for quite a long time. Take us on that journey, how you started in news media. Go.
Well, I lied.
Oh.
I lied my way
That's
into WBRZ. They were wonderful people, but like every TV station in America, they're shorthanded on the weekend. So I showed up on the weekend. I had been out the day before with one of their photographers, Charlie Bush, nice guy. I met him while I was at journalism school, and he said, well, come on in the weekend sometime. We'll tag up and you can go with us. So I went and I followed him around. We were shooting film. That's the strip stuff with the holes in it. Don't have
I've heard about that stuff. Yeah.
It's magical. Mm-hmm. And learned how to shoot film from him and learned how to become indispensable in a newsroom. Because on the weekends, when you learn how to do something, they expect you to come back every weekend and do that for them again. And I'm working. I would go to the back door and hit the buzzer, and they would let me in. I thought that was pretty cool. They didn't even know my name.
Yeah.
Gradually got hired, minimum wage, to be the weekend assignment editor / producer.
Pause.
Yes, dear.
Let's talk about assignment editor, because I don't think people know it. And actually, that is where the QuickFlip name comes from, because I would always tell those reporters and photographers, we need to flip this out quick, right? So that's where the name comes from. But for those who don't know what an assignment editor does, you should explain it.
The assignment desk is probably the most thankless but necessary job in the newsroom.
It's true.
The assignment desk is the entry point for every piece of information. If it comes off a police scanner, off an email, if it comes from a phone call, and many of the big stories in Baton Rouge came in on a phone call, it comes through the assignment desk, and that person has to juggle, do I have the resources to cover this? Is this newsworthy? Is this worth our time? Is this going to be of value at 6 o'clock and 10 o'clock that it is right now here at 9 o'clock in the morning? And you have to make all those judgment calls in real time. When you do a wonderful job, nobody's going to care. When you do a horrible job, they're going to roast you for it.
Yes, they are.
There's an old poem about a train. I don't get to drive the train, honk the horn, or ring the bell. But let the damn thing jump the track and see who catches hell. That is the assignment desk in a capsule. It is hugely important, and it's a high burnout factor. It takes a special person to do that. I've done it. You've done it. There are people in every TV station in Baton Rouge who are doing it now. So that's the one job AI will never take. The assignment editors right now, if you are working in a newsroom, an assignment editor,
We love you. We support you. We feel your pain.
You were special people.
You were special people. Yeah.
Bless your heart.
Yeah. But so you left the assignment down. You ended up getting behind the camera. Talk about that.
I did several things. I went to, I left Baton Rouge in 1981. I left the weekend that the air traffic controllers went on strike. Big news weekend. Went to Mobile, Alabama. Stayed there for 5 years as a photographer, then their chief photographer. Absolutely glorious career if you can do that. I mean, they pay you to go see history. Mm-hmm. I mean, one of the big things in my life was I got to go around the world on somebody else's nickel. They sent me to Wuhan, China, before it's the Wuhan that we now know and hate. But I went to Wuhan, China. I met governors. I went to Wallace through the Orient, met presidents, vice presidents. It's a great career. Yeah. I got to be there when George Wallace apologized for standing in the schoolhouse door. That's just stuff you don't get to do.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful career. Came back to Baton Rouge as a photographer at WBRZ. It was wonderful. Working for the Manship family, just one of the highlights of my life. They loved Baton Rouge, and they were willing to invest resources and to make Channel 2 a big deal, and it was, and it is a big deal. Mm-hmm. And the assignment desk position came open, and I knew the streets, I knew the people, and I said yes. And I did it there for, I think, 6 years. Then the same position came over at Channel 9 across the street, and I went over there and stayed in that position for, I think, 6 years. And there came a point where the assignment desk here in Baton Rouge to not only manage WAFB's resources, but all these other people, say New Orleans, of the TV stations and networks who needed our material. Mm-hmm. And I was shorting the Baton Rouge side to feed the other side. So we created a position, the smart managers there, Nick Simonet and Vicki Zimmerman, created a position called News Operations, where basically I kept all that outside stuff away from the local news gathering effort, but still I supported the local news gathering by keeping all their stuff fit to fight, as we say. And that led to us with Raycom, who owned us at the time, investing heavily in the station. We brought in all that technology, we made it work, we made it serve the viewer, and we taught people how to use it and how to maintain it. And then that expanded into doing the same job for 9 of Raycom's stations in our region between Texas, Mississippi. So I got to never be on TV. I'm not pretty, but I got to serve the naked underbelly so that the people who are good looking and smell good and talk good, they could be on TV. When a live shot came up, it was there. Everybody could hear each other, and we didn't look like fools on TV. Yeah. And that's still there today. You know, particularly WAFB that I have intimate knowledge of. They are wonderfully equipped to go anywhere in the world they need to on a moment's notice. Yeah. And it's done because it's great electronics. They invested well, and there are people in place who can handle it. So that's the short story. I got to travel through the wires and the servers and the mazes, and it spit me out on the other side. I have all my senses, and I have a lot of good friends, worked for a lot of great TV stations, and it was a good career.
Yeah. Retired now, but still, because you're unable to stop and just enjoy the birds.
Oh, I'm able to stop. Mm-hmm. I'm able to stop.
Yeah.
But my wife is not. You know, my entire career was traveling.
Yeah.
I remember vividly, I was at Fox McKithen's Victory Night headquarters. It's in what was the old Ralph and Kaku's on Airline Highway. It was a big party. He was winning. And my pager goes off. Pager. I call the station. This is WBRZ. It's John Spain, who says, I started to imitate his voice. I don't do it well. He said, when you get back to the station, grab your bag. I have a bag of clothes in the bag. You're getting on a helicopter, and you're going to Oakdale. We have a prison riot in progress. Didn't come home for a week. That was my life, traveling. I did it for every TV station I worked for. My wife, who I'd marry all over again, she was either a dental hygienist or a teacher. She would go to one place and come home every day. That was her life. Mm-hmm. And now we're retired. She wants to travel. So we're traveling. It's the
So
right
we're
thing.
traveling.
It's the right thing to do. But I'm
enjoying the photos. I'll just say that.
The world's a wonderful place.
Photographer travels, good things happen.
But she's dragging me to countries I got thrown out of.
Fair.
So it's a mixed bag, but it's a good place to be in life.
What's really interesting is, so you're talking about a lot of things, pagers and film and all these things that don't exist anymore.
I love toys.
Yeah. And I'm talking about how my business as a digital media production company is based out of this news industry, is based out of these old processes of film and pagers and whatnots. And they all hold the same principles, and that's that you move fast, you move efficiently, and you reuse what you can when you can, but a lot of it you just do on the spot. So I know it seems like a weird jump. How are we were just talking about file organization and management. Why are we now talking news? Because the two things are so interconnected, in that in order to be a well-running news organization, you have to have organization. And you were the man that did that.
And we went through a lot of pain to do it that way.
Yeah.
In one day, we took all of the videotape cameras out of our photographers' hands and gave them these cameras that shoot files.
Yeah.
Imagine taking a carpenter and you take away his tool belt,
Yeah.
his framing hammer, and all of a sudden, here's these new things.
Right.
And you still have to produce a newscast that day.
Right.
And we came up with a plan. It worked mostly, and then we cleaned up the edges. The biggest problem we had, and this is the truth, the biggest problem we have the first 5 or 6 weeks when you put your file in the computer is, what did you call it and where did you put it?
Right.
And after we got that settled down, everything went very, very well. But
Yeah.
you have to organize everything. Even, and that's on the front end. Even now, we're 12 years distant. I'm still having to reorganize my home filing system just to make it work. It's a continuous thing.
Oh, yeah.
But it just comes down to, it depends on the type of person you are. You and I are in business. Ours is different. But if you're just at home or with the files from your phone, family, vacation, then there's the devilish miscellaneous. And you just file from there, but keep moving and just make it work for you. And then back up those files someplace else.
Yeah. So the biggest issue we had at WAFB was full folders, was full drives filling up. I feel like you lived in the red zone and you were constantly battling, because there's also the big problem of, what do you keep? What do you get rid of? And when you're talking about, I'm a data hoarder. I love information.
Stop it.
I know.
Get help.
I know. It's paper was the problem for a long time. Now it's just like digital, files and content. So knowing what to get rid of is the hardest part for me. I have an easier time when I go through and I sort and I file it away. But yeah, you had to fight quite often that red bar, the one that full drive.
It was a devil of my own making. The setup with Channel 9 and most stations is you have a big box that keeps your video. And this is the video you bring in every day, the edit processes which draw them at video, and then once they're edited, they go to another side where they're held legally for 3 years, but actually forever.
Yeah.
And that entire universe of video is about 18 terabytes.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
But we were shooting 29 gigabytes of raw material every day. And you would bring the video in, you would ingest it, and you would edit from that. But in a week, that material you brought in would be wiped, gone. It's gone forever. There's no recycle bin there, and it had to go. So we needed something that we could, if we had a hurricane, that stuff has to outlive a week. So we made a 90-day hold. And stuff would go there, and 90 days would go away. Well, there were things that we had to have that outlasted that. So I, in my feeble mind, created a hold folder. There's no computer watching over it. It lives forever. Kill me now.
Yeah.
That was the problem, because everything went into that.
Yeah.
Everything went into that. If you were all your
Everything's important.
all your
Everything's
Sunday morning
important.
shows,
Yeah.
Commercials and all,
Yeah.
and it was eating me alive.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to be a tyrant and tell you need to get your stuff out and put it on your drives because I'm going to wipe it, and I don't care who you are or what it is. And if you put "don't delete it" by it, that's going first.
That's going first.
You know, my responsibility is keeping the place afloat.
Yeah.
And what we found is when the machine gets full to a certain level, you're done that day.
Right.
And so that's the red bar
Right.
that you mentioned.
Right.
So you have to be heartless, and it translates to what you do at home. You need to change your mindset. You need to start from the mindset that delete everything.
Okay.
Be heartless. It's all got to go. Set a high bar. If it's a pretty purple flower, and it's got a gold stem, it looks very LSU-ish on the inside, and there's a bumblebee in it, and it's a beautiful picture. And this video, do you care? In 6 months, are you going to care? It needs to go.
Yeah.
If you don't remember ever shooting it, it needs to go.
Yeah.
If it has no purpose in your life, it needs to go. Now, if it's your grandmother holding this newborn child who will never see each other as an adult, yeah, you need to save that.
Right.
But there are wonderful ways to do that. I know people who are filling up their phone.
Yeah.
I was in Europe recently, against my will, but there were people, I can't fit anything else on my phone.
Yeah.
What am I going to do?
This is the biggest complaint. That's the whole reason for this talk.
And there are a lot of ways to get around that. I personally spent $100 on a 4 terabyte hard drive.
Okay, average person doesn't know what 4 terabyte means, so please.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
You will probably not shoot 4 terabytes of material your whole lifetime.
Right.
And you can put that entire environment, plus stuff you've got hidden around already on little cards, whatever, onto this little box. In fact, this is that very box.
Oh, my.
$100. Remember, my entire storage universe at Channel 9 was about 18 terabytes. This is 4.
This is not product placement, people.
Yeah, this is not. I'm not
This
telling
is
you the
just
brand.
a straight up, get one of these.
And I love it. If you are an Amazon Prime customer, there's free storage that goes with that. You can store it online there. I know that Microsoft 365, Google Drive, and one more that doesn't come to mind right now. You can buy oodles of storage space from them for $2 a month.
Sure.
So there's options out there. You just need to get off your butt, get it off your phone, and put it someplace if you want to keep it.
Yeah.
But I say just delete it all.
Yeah. Okay. So I
burst your bubble, didn't I?
No. I think you're right, because there are 2 principles of thought where being able to move quickly and efficiently is having what you need, right? And being able to access it. So yes, you need to keep some like stock footage of things around. So maybe you do need that purple flower, but like, do you really, in the sense of like, can you not just go shoot another purple flower in real time? It's going to be assessing your access to that thing to be able to do it again in the future, and the likelihood of, does the timeliness of this matter? Does the relevance of it matter? So like from a news perspective, it can be hard because we know what's going to be newsworthy or news relevant 25 years from now. And I think that's an interesting thing that's happening right now with news, is that you have a lot of this old footage being requested by Netflix, documentaries and things like that are become popular. True crime has become really popular. Baton Rouge has become a really popular stopping place for the true crime documentary
They
arena.
love some serial killers.
They do, and we got a few. And so we've got lots of footage. And so TV stations are now getting a new life of licensing all this old footage. So you've got the value of that. But are you a news station? No, probably not. So like for your personal home usage, you can be really selective and narrow that down. Now, if you're a business and you're trying to create like reels and things like that, I think you can find somewhere like a middle lane where you're keeping more than you would as an individual, but less than you would as a news agency. Definitely think that 2 terabyte is your happy place to live. 2 terabyte
it's
storage.
so cheap.
Yeah,
It's
it is
so
so
cheap.
cheap. Yeah.
For a 2 terabyte, buy 2 of them and make sure you have 2 copies of the same thing. One stays wherever, or in my case, we lost every piece of video we owned personally in a flood. And, from relatives, we were able to reassemble a lot of that. But it just shows you, and I hated clouds.
Oh.
I had a lockbox.
Why?
Here's
Okay.
why.
Okay.
I had this lockbox, a safe, and I put everything on my computer was continually backed up, put on that in that box, and it went on this high shelf back in the bedroom. The flood comes in. I'm in Boston doing production stuff with the Saints. This is the flood of 2016. It rained. Animals were lining up 2 by 2.
Yeah, sure.
We got 6 feet of water in a house that had never seen water before. Okay, I figured it'll be fine at 6 feet up. Well, what I didn't count on, what I didn't know, is the water softens the wallboard. That becomes unstable. It causes the 2x4s to collapse. So my board, my lovely box gets dumped in the water upside down, and it bent the key, basically opened the box, everything's on. So it's going to go. Never fall in love with it. It's going to go.
Yeah.
And so we learned clouds are good, but also have local backup. And to your point, if you're a business, the bar of what to keep is a lot higher because you might use this again. That's fine. Just store it someplace. Store it off your main device so you have room to shoot more.
Yeah.
Offices and businesses have different needs. They not only have to fill this voracious appetite that the internet and website has for video. You have in-office monitoring systems. You may be making social media where this has to go out. So you've got different needs, but storage is cheap.
Yeah.
Use it.
Yeah. If you live in the red zone, it's time to get out because that's the killer of everything is I don't have space on my phone or I don't have space on my camera or I just not having space. So you have to be preemptive and you have to be willing to say bye-bye. And on that note, Chandler.
It's not a phone.
Oh.
It's a computer
Oh.
running a phone app.
Oh, hot take.
And a camera app, and you need to treat it like a computer. Get the stuff off so that it works nice. And most people don't want. Most people don't want to do that because it's so hard. It's easy to do, and there's about 250,000 YouTube videos that will show you how to do it. So it's easy to start. It's cheap to do. It's the best. It is the best method to store video, whether you think it's important or not. You store wherever you like. You just have to pay for it, and now it's dirt cheap. There's no reason not to do it. It's cheap. It's easy to use. Get on Amazon, whatever your choice is, and get you some storage.
Get you some storage. All right. Well, so I think that sums everything up perfectly. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this today. I know we need to sit and have more chats about the newsroom. Maybe lunch would be an idea.
Oh,
I think we should give that a try.
why, yes.
Yeah, let's do that.
I'm glad you invited me.
Maybe we could invite a friend or two. We'll see.
All right, you heard them. Stop thinking of your phone as a phone and start seeing it for what it really is. It's a computer. It's a mindset shift. Now, with that said, there's one more solution to your storage problem, and it involves, wait for it, this little guy. This is the DJI Osmo Pocket. It's a handy little gadget that works as well as a fancy camera, but for the fraction of the cost. You can save your files to a little micro SD card and take your phone out of the equation. So if this is just too much for you, think about something like this. Next month, we're going to talk all about this little guy and some other gear you might want to invest in if you're looking to enhance your video creation process. Of course, if you sign up for the workshop, you'll get to see how it works in real life and you'll get to give it a little test drive, as well as some other pieces of gear that you might have had your eye on. I hope to see some of you at that workshop, but if you can't make it, join us on the last Wednesday of every month for another Webinar Wednesday segment. And if you have a suggestion for a topic, send me an email to Samantha@QuickFlipMedia.com. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I'll see you again soon.